Today, we're going to explore a truly fascinating concept together. What if I told you that one single number quietly holds the blueprint to the entire Bible? We often read through these ancient texts focusing purely on the stories, But underneath the surface, there's actually an architectural framework that's just waiting to be noticed. And today, we are going to uncover exactly how that works. So you really have to ask yourself, is the repeated, highly specific appearance of ancient writers happening to like the exact same digit? Or is it a deliberate, divine pattern meant to reveal something far greater to us as readers? Well, the secret number we're talking about isn't 3. And actually, it's not 12 either. Even though, for sure, those numbers definitely carry their own weight in the text. The true secret here is absolutely everywhere. From the opening pages of Genesis all the way to the closing scenes of Revelation, this single number acts as a thread tying the entire narrative together. Section 1. The Mystery of 7, a hidden blueprint. Let's dive right in and uncover one of the most fascinating literary and historical mysteries in Scripture. We're going to trace this hidden blueprint to see exactly what the text is trying to communicate to us whenever this specific number flashes on the page. Now, this quote brilliantly foundation right in the opening pages of the book. The word finished here, it's absolutely crucial. This isn't just about counting days. It's about establishing a profound theological and historical principle from the very dawn of time. Section 2. The Rhythm of Creation, Building to Rest. Let's look at the very first chapter of the Bible and see how God introduces this rhythmic cycle and how it builds the entire concept of the number 7. Meticulously forming the universe. He starts by creating light, then the sky, then the land. Next comes the stars, followed by the animals, and then humanity on day 6. All of this incredible work is culminating in a highly specific 7th day, a day where God rests. But there's a much deeper layer to this rest that we really need to understand. So here's the crucial point. God wasn't tired, right? He didn't need to take a break or recover from the exertion as a marker of absolute completion. It meant the work was definitively finished and everything was exactly as it was meant to be. From this moment on, the number 7 becomes God's unmistakable signature of perfection, fullness, and completion. Every time you see it afterward, the Bible is practically waving a giant flag, telling you to pay close attention. Moving on to Section 3, Patterns of Biblical Completion, Walls and Water. As we read deeper into the text, we've got to keep an eye out, because this signature of completion doesn't just disappear after Genesis. It actually shows up in major, pivotal historical moments. It dictates the action. Take the famous story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. Look at the strict instructions given here. First, they were told to march around the city of Jericho for 7 days. Then, on that 7th day, the priests were to blow exactly 7 trumpets. And it doesn't stop there. They had to march around the city 7 times on that final day. Why such a highly specific? Meaning had to reach its absolute fullness through this strict 7-part process before his power was revealed and the walls finally fell. We see the example at work with a man named 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 at work with a man. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're going to explore a truly fascinating concept. Naaman. He was seeking healing, and the prophet told him to go wash in the Jordan River. But he wasn't told to wash just once, or 6 times, or 8 times. No, he was told to wash exactly 7 times. Think about that for a second. Stopping at wash number 5 or number 6 would have left the work completely unfinished. It was because that specific 7th wash brought complete healing, marking the exact moment God's restorative work reached its fullness. Section 4. Limitless Grace of Jesus. Let's step forward chronologically into the New Testament now, and we'll see how Jesus seamlessly continued this exact divine pattern in his own teachings and actions. Look at this really famous interaction. When discussing the limits of forgiveness with his disciples, Peter asked a very logical question of Jesus. Should I forgive 7 times? Now, Peter thought he was being incredibly generous by using the number of completion, but Jesus contrasted human mathematics with limitless grace. His answer, not 7 but 70 times 7, wasn't about literal math. Jesus was using the ultimate symbol of fullness to prove a profound point about the boundless, complete nature of grace. And this profound pattern of fullness eventually culminated at the cross itself. During his crucifixion, Jesus famously spoke exactly 7 final statements before his death. Each one of those statements revealed another crucial piece of God's finished work, practically counting down to the ultimate moment of completion. And then came his final declaration. It is finished. This ultimate declaration revealed that the entire mission of salvation was complete. It ties perfectly back to that original Genesis motif we looked at earlier. As God finished the physical creation on the 7th day, Jesus finished the work of spiritual redemption with his 7th statement. As God finished, the pattern holds together perfectly. Section 5. The ultimate conclusion, the end of history. Finally, let's jump to the last book of the Bible, Revelation, and see how this builds into an overwhelming cosmic climax. If you thought the number 7 was prominent before, it completely at the end of history. The text intentionally throws an absolute barrage of sevens right at the reader. 7 churches, 7 lampstands, 7 stars, 7 seals that need opening, 7 trumpets that sound, 7 bowls, and the 7 spirits before God's throne. It's wild. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that this isn't just random poetic symbolism. It is a highly deliberate, engineered design meant to communicate absolute finality. From the opening chapters of Genesis straight through to the dramatic visions of Revelation, the recurring number 7 is there to remind us of one undeniable truth. Nothing in this overarching plan is incomplete, and absolutely nothing is accidental. History itself is moving intentionally toward God's perfect, finished conclusion. Section 6. What it means for you, the personal blueprint. So, what does this massive literary and historical blueprint actually mean for us today? It's fascinating as an intellectual or historical exercise, sure, but how does this hidden truth translate to our daily lives? Well, the next time you see this number in Scripture, I really want you to change how you read. Don't just rush past it as a random detail. Pause, take a breath, and actively ask yourself, what is God bringing to completion here? It acts like a highlighter, telling you that a cycle is finishing, a promise is being fulfilled, or a work is being perfected. Because behind this simple, repeating number is a deeply reassuring message of profound hope. This is especially true if your life feels a bit unfinished right now, or if your prayers seem entirely unanswered today. The very same God who flawlessly completed the work of creation and who decisively completed the work of salvation is still actively completing his work in you. The ultimate takeaway from this biblical mystery, the real reason number 7 is stamped across thousands of years of history and text, is to prove that God always finishes exactly what he begins. When he starts a work, it will inevitably reach its perfect 7th day. If this hidden textual pattern amazed you as much as it did me, it really begs the question, how many other divine blueprints are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to notice them? Textual pattern. Subscribe to join us as we uncover the next great mystery. Until then, keep asking the big questions.